on, Q. Feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down.
Welcome to the Eric and Brad Show. It's episode 86, 87, 88, 89. No one fucking knows anymore. It's Eric. I'm Eric. That's Brad. It's a beautiful June 11th. It's rainy here. I think it's hotter than shit over there. The dollar's collapsing. Gas is... I fucking went to the gas station the other day. Had to take a mortgage out, or a second mortgage out in the fucking house. Fucking... This is ridiculous out here. I'm Eric. That's Brad. We love you guys. Welcome. How's Bradley doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fired up, dog. I'm fired up.
You are. You're hot and you're ready.
I'm hot. $125 to fill the truck up, and that's gas, dog. That ain't diesel. And that's too much fucking money. I'll tell you what.
It's okay.
I'll tell you what. You motherfuckers need to get to work, okay? Before the show, he's like, yeah, I fucking sleeping in my truck all fucking day. Nothing to goddamn do. I'm like, well, fucking, yeah, okay. That's where the gas prices are coming from. That's where they're fucking coming from.
No, it has nothing to do with me.
You send a bunch of Idaho boys up to North Dakota, gas prices go to $6 an hour.
No, that has nothing to do with me. Everyone's always trying to pass the buck down to the little guy. You know, roll it right down to me.
Well, how we doing? We
good. So, yeah, it's just amazing. Last week I think this is the first time it's ever happened where this little thing behind me said episode 88, and on the show, on this Eric and Brad show, I said episode 88, when in fact last week was episode 87. And I think that's the only time that's ever happened, so sorry about the confusion. This is episode 88. Very weird.
That is weird because that's not like a computer screen behind him. That's like little numbers. So if you just really think about what happened there, is he went up to that board and it said 86 and he just is like 88 and just pulled the 6 down, grabbed an 8 and just stuck it up there. It's like
Actually, what happened was the previous week I changed it to episode... I changed it to episode 87, and then we didn't do a show. So then last week, I just changed it to episode 88.
Ghost shows, phantom shows. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Got to get all of our ducks in a row over here at the Eric and Brad show. And I quit juuling this week. I quit vaping.
So now you're sucking on suckers? Is that what's going on?
This is a straw that I've cut in a third of an actual straw. So you just kind of keep this in your mouth all day, and you can suck on it, and you can flick it like this.
Okay.
And you just do this all day long.
Yeah. See, you know what's so weird about me?
I just need something in my mouth to suck on. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not a cigarette or a vape.
I've been smoking 15 years. Long time I've been smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
And every smoker I've ever met tells me that I'm the weirdest smoker they've ever seen. And I have zero problem. Like, first off, I will not smoke until noon. Ever. Never, ever, ever. I will never light a cigarette before noon. That's sounds weird. So disgusting to me. Like, a cigarette at 8 o'clock in the morning makes me want to... Like, if I have food in my stomach, it makes me want to throw the food up. It's unsettling to me. It does not feel good. And noon, maybe. And honestly, in the daytime, I'd rather have a dip in. I'd rather put chew in. But even then, I can't do it till noon. And then about 8 o'clock, one beer in, boom. I can go through about 10 to 12 cigarettes from 7 o'clock till 11 o'clock. It's always been that way. As soon as the beer hits it, it's just chain smoking. It's literally by 10 o'clock, I'll get done with a cigarette and honestly like have to pull a cigarette out and start the next cigarette. I don't know what it is. But then sick, Won't smoke. And so like what you're talking about with the straw, and my mom taught like use suckers. She said she'd always keep a sucker in her mouth, just buy big bags of suckers, and then she just have something there.
I was in the checkout aisle yesterday with 3 giant bags of suckers, like a maniac.
And yeah, I don't know.
A box of straws.
It's not the like, for me, it's not, I don't need it all day. I don't know what it is. It's the alcohol. And like when I'm sick, I will not smoke a cigarette. And like most people I know, they'll be sick and they'll still go out. And that blows my mind.
I wouldn't do that.
That's so foul. It'd be like drinking a beer when you're sick. It's like, no, bro. No.
There were times here that it was so cold outside that I said I'm not going to go smoke because how cold it was.
That's why you smoke inside, dog.
The straw helps a lot. You should try it. Guess what? Here's what I have to say to everyone who's listening to this that has a nicotine dependency.
It works?
How's it feel now that I'm better than you?
Oh.
I am better than you. I'm up here, you're down here. Everybody who has a nicotine dependency, you are now less than me. I am now better than you. How does that feel? I'm going to be walking out of the grocery store now, and when someone's smoking, just be like, as I walk past them. So it feels good to be on top of the mountain with all you other little peons down below me. You little, with the chains of nicotine around you, the weights. When I've broken free, it's
rock and roll,
a good
buddy.
Life.
Is it?
Well, I really, really could use some nicotine vapor, but we're going down the path now. It's a new day. It's a new day, nicotine-free.
How many times have you quit?
Nicotine or juuling?
Nicotine.
A lot.
Lots of quitting?
Probably, between 6 to 10 times in 15 years.
And what was the longest you went without it?
Ooh, like a year.
You went a year without nicotine and then you started back up? You're a crazy person.
I know.
You're a crazy person.
I know. And I started by, I'm going to buy a pack of American Spirits and I'm going to smoke just like one and then just like keep them in the house like a stay-at-home mom and like keep them up in a cupboard somewhere. And then when I want one, I'll just like smoke one. And then I'm not going to, and then eventually it leads back to you just smoking again all the time within like a couple months. But then I went to the Juul. I did go to an e-cig in December 2013, and I stopped. Then after a month of the e-cig, I quit. Then for a long time, and then like a year later, then it was just back on the cigarettes. So like the e-cig did what it was supposed to do. It weaned me off of the cigarettes, and then I quit. But then this last time, like 3 years ago, I went to the Juul, and it didn't do that job. It didn't take like a month and then clean quit. It was like the addiction almost just intensified with it. But
That's horrible.
A week ago or whatever, when I was binge watching Andrew Tate videos, I was just like, that's it. I'm deciding the e-cig is gone. A woman, and I was thinking, I don't know, I was just thinking that time when I quit Snapchat, and I was like, what would a grown man, a real adult grown male person, be posting on Snapchat? And I'm like, no, he wouldn't. So I'm done with it. I'm quitting it. So that's kind of what Andrew Tate made me think about this time. I'm like, should a grown man be smoking? Should be vaping nicotine? And I'm like, no, he shouldn't be. Like if a girl were to see a guy vaping, that she should lose attraction to him. So I'm like, I'm
super gay looking. When I drive down, like I vape and I have no problem with it and I enjoy it. I'm not doing it now, but if I'm like forced into a situation where it's like really cold outside and I can't smoke inside and it's just miserable, yeah, I'll start vaping. I don't like it. Like it's all right, but when I'm driving down the street and I see a dude with a vape, yeah,
I know.
Instant. Douche. And you're 2 for 2 because you drive a Subaru too. So it's like double douche, bro. Double doucher.
And I wear Crocs.
That would actually move you up a little bit on my list.
Oh, good.
If you were driving down the road, I saw you with a vape, your Subaru and like pit vipers on, be like, I would never be friends with that person.
I don't wear the pit vipers.
What a douche canoe.
I'm either wearing Crocs or Air Jordans though. But I get called a lesbian for the Subaru thing anyway. But guess what? I'm fucking.
It's not lesbians, bro. Come to Portland. It will drive you insane. It's brah. What's up, brah? What's up, brah? Just Subarus. As far as the eye can see. Everyone. I guarantee you, I would bet money that it's over 10% of cars in Oregon are Subarus.
Yeah.
Like, that's an easy one. And if it was above that, I wouldn't be surprised. If it was over 15%, Subarus, I would not be surprised.
I'd say more than that. I'd say Sandpoint's like easily like 30%.
You think 30% Subarus?
It seems like that sometimes because you're just driving and it's like one passes you, then the next one, then the next one, then the next. It's like 5 in a row. You're like, Jesus.
See, but the crazy thing about Sandpoint is that I don't judge people there. It makes sense. You're driving in the snow. They're fucking incredible snow vehicles.
Yeah.
In Portland, it's like, dude, you're city driving. You can drive any car you want. And they're not driving it for snow. They're driving it for like what the rally car was. You know what I mean? They're just like the STI Subaru WRX, you know? It's like, dude, I loved that car. Would never buy one now. Like, just wouldn't. And I'm not going to drive a car everyone else drives. Same thing with, honestly, my favorite car ever was I loved the look of the Challenger. I wanted it from day one. I was like, dude, the new Challenger looks awesome. I'll never buy one. Because now everyone and their mother has one. Everyone has a Challenger. They're probably one of the most produced goddamn cars on the planet.
Yeah, I would hear like a comedian on Joe Rogan who lived in L.A. when Joe was in L.A. say that he drove a Subaru, and I was like, that's weird. I don't know. That's like, that just seems weird. But if you're in Sandpoint and you're like, what kind of car should I buy? I'd be like, you should buy a Subaru. It's like, that's what you should buy. You live in Idaho. You might have to drive in a foot of snow. Yeah.
Yeah, either that or you're buying a truck and make sure it has 4-wheel drive. Like,
yeah, so I don't know. And also with the vape, you know, it's just cheap Chinese liquid that costs nothing to make, and you probably shouldn't be putting it in your body. But guess what? All of nicotine is for weak little soy boys, and you guys that are addicted to it, who it seems like the vast majority of my friends are, like 90% of them, you should get out of the system. They want you to be addicted to that shit. They want you to be addicted to it.
Yeah,
they're taking your money from you. You don't need it. Nobody needs it. You don't need it to survive. You just don't need it to survive. So why do it? Get a straw, cut it in 3 pieces, and just suck on it all day long. It's great.
Yeah.
You're going to get cancer in 20 years, and it's going to suck. You're going to be like, why didn't I quit when Brad quit?
I agree with you. I slightly disagree with you. I mean, I don't know. That's like that's kind of the, who's more right? Is it the person who's like planned everything out and is going to live the most like, you know, stack away in their 401k, bust ass the first 50 years, retire in good health, but fucking pissed away their 20s and 30s and didn't have any fun? Like, who really did it better there? Like,
well, yeah,
I don't know. You know, I don't know. And obviously that's just a preference. Some people, I'm playing devil's advocate. I totally disagree with everything coming out of my mouth, but yeah, I mean, but can I bring up something you said a second ago? Cause I don't think I texted you about it. And I don't, can we talk about this Andrew Tate fellow?
Yeah.
Cause you sent that to me and I knew the name, but for some reason I was thinking Andrew Tate was a comedian. And then, which he is, probably the funniest comedian on the planet.
Did you listen to that episode?
Oh, yeah.
It's so good, dude.
Dude, so I was dying. So I'm in the backyard getting ready to... I kicked the dogs out, which is another topic we'll bring up later. As I kicked the dogs, I split my yard in half. And I kicked the dogs off onto one side because they've destroyed my yard. Just holes everywhere. I'm like, fuck it, I'm reclaiming it. You guys lost your privileges. You fucking lost it. Either I'm getting a shock collar or I'm fucking putting a fence up. But I honestly don't want the shock collar because then I have to sit there and fucking watch them until they start digging and hit the button. So just
I did that.
Fence it up. So I'm going through my backyard, really digging in, just trying to. I want a picture perfect backyard. I'm back there. I put the radio out, turned the radio on. I'm like, oh yeah, Brad said to listen to this fucking episode. So I have the radio going, like in the neighborhood, like your radio's going. And the beginning of Your Mom's House, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys listen to Your Mom's House, but
I skipped that. I skipped right to the interview.
It's right on the line. You know, it's definitely over the line if you're like a little prude about what's being said in the air. But one is, it's a school day. It's the middle of the day. Kids are gone. So it should just be adults in the neighborhood. But they're talking about dicks and, you know, a lot of shit, you know, that shouldn't be blaring in the neighborhood. You know, you shouldn't be hearing that over your neighbor's fence. Like, oh, you know, whatever. They're comedians. Then about halfway through the episode, they bring on their guest. Your internet connection is very unstable. All right, are you hearing me fine?
Yeah. You went away, but now you're fine now.
Yeah, halfway through the episode, they bring a guest on, and and so he had told me, Brad had told me to listen to this episode. And it's funny because I sporadically go on and off of listening to podcasts. And I had listened to the episode before and the episode after, randomly. Like, didn't plan that at all. Just missed that episode. And go back.
That's that's the first Your Mom's House episode I've ever listened to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's a great podcast. Honestly, one of my...
I get annoyed with it. I can't do it. But I liked that.
You just said it's your first one.
Yeah, but I know that they just play videos off the internet. I think that's ridiculous. I don't like it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
To me, I can bounce all over the place, but it's the one podcast that's just like, I don't have to sit. A lot of times I'll sit on those pages and I'll just go through my library and I'll be like, no. And it's just like, that one is like the easy, like, yep, just put it on. I don't have to like think. It's just funny. Something funny is going to happen in it. I'm going to laugh. But anyways, I'm listening to the podcast in the back, you know, doing my yard work, raking and stuff. And it, honestly, like 50-50, I'm like, man, I keep going over and like turning it down like one notch. Like, it's just a little too, they're going a little too hard right now. And then they bring on their guest, Andrew Tate. Instantly, I got to shut that shit down. Like, I'm like, my neighbors cannot hear me listening to this guy because he is hands down the most like misogynistic person there fucking is on the planet and is extremely outspoken about everything. And I loved every minute of it. I was one like he makes a lot of good points. I honestly agree with most of the shit he says. I'm like, yeah, it's brutal and very misogynistic, but I honestly think it's true. Like I don't think he's wrong here. Right. I made my girl listen to it. I'm like, you got to listen to it. You got to listen to it. And we talked about it later. She's like, I made it about 15 minutes in and I couldn't fucking do that anymore. She's like, that guy's a fucking piece of shit. I'm just like, yeah. But he makes a lot of good points. She's like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, yeah, he does. Bitch!
Well, like even because the hosts are a couple, a man and a wife, and even the wife, Christina, found common ground with him, it seemed like, at the end.
Yeah.
Where she's like, you know what? It's all right being number 2. It's a good gig. We don't. Why would you? Who wants to be number 1? Let's just be number 2. I don't know. I don't know. It was really good. I almost want to listen to it again. It was great.
It was very funny. It was one of the funniest podcasts I think I've ever listened to. Like, just
it's inspiring to me.
Yeah. So now you've gone down more Andrew Tate shit.
Dude, I went down a whole thing. I listened to him on like half a dozen different shows, and then I just searched on TikTok the hashtag Andrew Tate, and I was just watching all of those on TikTok. And then I tried to go back to regular TikTok, and it was so boring and shitty that I went back to hashtag Andrew Tate TikTok, and I was like, it was like a 48-hour fucking addiction. And he's also like, I mean, he's like he lives in like Eastern Europe, and a lot of his views seem very influenced by like Muslim, and I think a lot of his female opinions are like Muslim kind of influenced, even though he's not like Muslim. I don't know. And it's like you can listen to someone and not agree with everything they say. I listened to a guy today who just talked about how bad Bitcoin is and how much of a scam it is. I listened to him for like half an hour. You can just listen to shit. You don't have to agree with it. But I don't know. It's interesting listening to someone who has views different than you and just seeing what you think. I like doing that.
I didn't have that experience at all. I agree with everything you said. I was digging it. I'm like, yeah. Now we're talking. Someone's really fuck all this PC shit. We're just
Well,
is
and
this
I think
what's gonna happen? Is are we gonna come back on the pendulum? You know what I mean? Is the overcorrection
Probably.
gonna go hard?
Maybe.
Just go real hard the other way. Just like, no, you fucking, fag's gonna come back. Cunt's coming back. No?
Cunt can come back. Cunt's fine. I'm not going backwards with the other things. And I don't know if it was on that episode where he was saying, I don't know if it was on that episode where he was saying, like, if we were all stranded on an island and we had to survive, we would all just start doing things that were sort of our evolutionary strengths. Like the men would do certain things that they evolved to be better at, and women would start doing things that they're evolved to be better at. And the reasoning why is because it'd give us our best chance of surviving. And he's like, so that's what we should be doing in society, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's kind of right. And you could even say that with like a group of guys. Like if it was a group of guys who were stranded or something, why don't we all just focus on what we're good at? Like naturally good at. Like, I don't know. Like, I was thinking about that just like today or yesterday. I was just trying to work that around in my head. I don't know. And I don't know if he was saying it on that podcast or others where he's like, this is the first society in the world that has gotten this far with like sexuality openness, openly sexual stuff. He's like, this is uncharted waters. So he's like,
he wasn't saying that.
Maybe this is a different show I was listening to, but when he was saying that,
I would argue that there's been like multiple like Romans. There's been some highly like.
I think he just means where you can just like post videos of yourself blowing people on the internet.
Well, yeah, I mean acceptable. The technology didn't exist, but I would say there's a lot of civilizations throughout history where like what's like Gomorrah or whatever, even in the Bible. Like, there's multiple civilizations where it's just all sex, all gay sex, all as promiscuous as you can possibly be. So that statement, I think, is kind of silly.
Maybe he means in, like, modern times or something. I don't know.
Okay. I'm just arguing.
Or just saying, like, currently in the world right now, because a lot of other countries are still, like,
Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what I was going to say, sorry.
Hundreds of years behind us if you want to talk about like sexual evolution or something like that, the mindset of it. So that it's like he was kind of saying it's not proven yet. It's not proven this level of sexual like inclusivity or just openness or acceptedness is not proven to work yet.
Well, no, it's proven to fail. I would totally argue that because we've gone down these paths before. I've heard arguments about like this is like a lot of telltale signs is like with the fall of the Roman Empire is like we're following in a lot of the same path.
That's what he's saying. That's what he was saying. Yeah.
Okay, but you just said it's never been done before, and I'd say, yeah, it has.
Yeah, he said it's not proven. There's no proof that it's worked.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Same thing. And I don't know. When I was listening to him saying that, I'm hypocritical about the whole thing. I don't know. It's crazy because it's just like some dude who's like a baller millionaire with Bugattis, but fucking I don't know. He just gets you thinking. He gets you thinking with just outlandish
He talks incredible amounts of shit, and I don't know how much I believe him. Part of me thinks he's just a person who has created
like an actor.
He's created like a YouTube presence and has actually started making decent money on that. But I bet you, like, somehow, I would bet all his shit's just bullshit. Like, obviously he was a kickboxer, so that's true. But everything else he's saying, it's like, no, I don't think, I get a lot of bullshit vibes off of you. Like, I think what happened is you went out, rented a mansion and rented a fucking car and then started making a bunch of YouTube videos and Instagram videos posing that you actually had this life and you didn't.
I don't think so.
And then you start making money off monetizing your shit and now he's to the point where yes, but 23 cars. No, I don't believe it. I'm like, you're full of shit. Yeah, I'm in with the mafia. He's listening to him is like listening to those people in life where you're like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, no one here believes you. No one here believes you. But he's just the one person that is that guy that's just actually made it to the next level. His bullshit has fucking paid off. And he's made it to the next level. But there's no, like, the numbers he's throwing out, he's richer. Like, what he is saying he is doing, he's far richer than Tom Segura. I doubt it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
In
I
real
think
life,
he is. I think he is.
No, he's full. I own a jet. No, you don't, bro. No, you're renting a jet. You rented a jet, and you're gonna make a bunch of videos with you in this my jet. It's not your jet. Like, it's not your jet. You're not in the mafia with some Eastern European and run a bunch of casinos. That's bullshit. I don't.
How's that bullshit?
I just don't believe it because
people own casinos.
He's talking too much shit.
He said he owns a bunch of casinos in Eastern Europe, and then he said he runs a management company for girls OnlyFans, where he manages it for the girls, and that he ran a huge cam girl website and made money off of that, and that he was banging all the cam girls that were his employees.
I'm gonna say I think what happened is exactly what I said. Is somehow he got enough money to rent shit for like a month or two, and then started making videos, just acted this life out, and actually started making money off YouTube and sales. So now he's making, let's say, $10,000 a month to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month to where he can support himself. And now, look at these YouTube guys. I can show you a bunch of YouTube channels where they all have fucking Ferraris and Lambos. They live in fucking, but they are living max their means. You know what I mean? Like they're maxing their life out. And this guy is doing the same thing. It's exactly why he's like goes and does all these shows. He's smart as fuck. I'm not saying he's not smart. I'm just saying he's full of shit. And he's definitely way richer than me. I'll give him that. But he doesn't own casinos and is in with the fucking Russian mafia. No, he's not. No, what he did is he's making YouTube money and he's monetizing his platforms. And then he goes on this show and he monetizes his platforms, which honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you pay $50 now for the fucking warrior code or whatever that is. Like, I would bet money that Brad now spends $50 a month to this dude. Now that's smart. And he probably makes good money off that. Now that just gave him $50,000, $100,000 a month, just off, like, bam, he just made $100,000 a month. Now he can afford to rent a bunch of cars, but that ain't fucking jet money. That ain't jet money. That ain't owning a private jet money. He does not have that kind of money.
I disagree completely. Another thing he said on that Your Mom's House show that I thought was really brilliant, where he was like, and something we could all learn from. He said his dad was a chess grandmaster and was fucking really good at chess and taught him how to play chess, and that he's not a grandmaster at chess. He could destroy everybody that you went to high school with, but like, he's not that elite, but he's still very good at chess. And he said his dad used to beat him from the other room, where his dad was in the other room, and he was sitting there with the chessboard, and his dad would beat him. And it's just crazy. But he's like, he thinks about life like a chessboard, where a chess player doesn't sit there and complain about the rules and think, why can't the pawn go this way and that way? You just think about how to win at life within how the board is built and constructed. And just learn the rules and then win the game and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
That shit I like. I like a lot of the stuff he says. That's good shit. But the bragging, people who are balling don't brag that much. You know what I mean? Like, you may be like, yeah, I'm fucking, I have a lot of fucking money, and I'm doing pretty goddamn good for myself. But not literally 100 times in the podcast dropping, I'm a baller. I own this jet. I own the jet. I'm feeling it up right now. I got 23 fucking cars, dog. Drove that shit. I don't even like that car, man. Fuck that car. It's like, dude, slow your jets down.
When Tom asked him about the car, he's like, yeah, I got the coupe and the sedan because I couldn't make a decision. Because I couldn't decide. I had to get both.
No, he didn't.
Dude.
No, he didn't.
Well, whatever. You're a doubter.
Full of shit.
I believe
he makes money. He obviously makes money. But his exaggeration on how balling he is stupid. Stupid.
I don't know. I enjoyed it very much, and it makes sense when you're talking about, say, me, you, and a bunch of people are in a room, and he's like sitting there on the couch saying all that stuff. We'd all be like, "This guy's full of shit." But when I watched all those videos and all those podcasts and stuff, I'm definitely a believer.
He frames it good. He frames it good. But it's like, dude, he came up with a story that you can't even verify. Oh, I own a bunch of fucking blah, blah, blah in Eastern Europe. And I'm going to be over in fucking blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you're not, dude. No, you're not. No, you're flying back to fucking Eastern Europe to go live in a normal fucking house with you and your brother. And once in a while, you're going to come up with little schemes and you're going to make sure it's all framed properly. And it's all going to be filmed. It's all bullshit. And I
don't think so.
Yeah, I doubt it. There's no way he has that much money. There's no way.
He gets all the hottest women in the world.
Okay.
I'm a believer. I enjoyed it. It was great. Look up your Andrew Tate on your mom's house. Listen to it. It's very good. Yeah.
I don't buy it.
He said another story, which is cool because I'm in gamblers, like Gamblers Anonymous groups or Gamblers Addicts Anonymous groups on Facebook, and they always talk about banning yourself from a casino. You can call a casino or go there and you can ban yourself. And he said he went to a casino and he won a bunch of money, won like 40 grand, 50 grand, and then on the way out he banned himself from the casino and was like, that's what you don't ban yourself from a casino after you lose a bunch of money. Ban yourself from a casino after you fucking win a bunch of money. And I'm like, that is a gangster ass move. Anyway. So
it says on Wikipedia that his net worth is $100 million.
Yeah, he said he makes like $2 million a month. That's not that much money.
$100 million isn't that much money.
Right.
And you can't buy a jet for $100 million fucking dollars. Like,
well, that's probably just what's on the books. That's what's on the books.
That's what I'm saying. He's so bullshit. I'm not saying he's not making a lot of money. He is. Yeah. He's doing great. He's fucking... But he's exaggerating everything in his life is not what he's saying. Yes, he's an influencer, and he's done fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, he's good at bullshitting people. But you own multiple casinos, and you're saying you only are worth $100 million. No. Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. There's got to be under the table shit going on for sure.
Of course you would say that. You know what I mean? Just, yeah. That's stupid.
I kind of had a theory after all the content that I consumed. I had a theory that, and if, let's say you start a crypto coin, you do, and then you sort of pump and dump it, where you like pump it up and then you sell and sort of dump it and you like manipulate it. It's like manipulating the stock. There's crimes. That's a crime, right? You will be prosecuted by doing that. I sort of, after listening to all the content I did, I was like, I wonder if this guy, like in crypto, did like a pump and dump and made like $100 million or something like that. I don't know. I just started thinking about that, and that's kind of my theory. Everything he said is true, but he did some shady crypto coin, like pump and dump, over in Europe or Russia or whatever, and just fucking went from 10 mil to 100 mil, like overnight, which is illegal, and he wouldn't admit to that. But I was like, maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I get the vibe. The bell goes off. He
should be on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
I don't think. See, the problem with Joe Rogan is I don't think Joe Rogan would like let him.
You
say
have to
that.
Let him. Yeah.
Because now he's sitting in a room with someone that has more fuck you money than he does. You know what I mean? And he just be like, bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit, bro. Like, bullshit. I mean, the deal with Spotify alone is twice as much money as that dude's worth. So it's like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah. And when you were just a second ago, I looked up Tom Segura's net worth too. There, it's 12 million, which kind of surprises me. I thought it would be a little more than that. He's pretty popular, but I guess that sounds about right. But
and when those people comment on what those net worth says, they always say it's wrong. They're always like, "What's my net worth say on Google?" Oh, 2 million. They're like, "That's wrong." They're like, everyone's always like, "It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong." I don't know how right it is, but I mean, it's got to be kind of close.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay. Switch gears here. Get out of fucking Dan Balzerian or whatever the fuck this guy's name is. I was on Facebook, and KGW is the local news channel, you know? And they're pumping a Facebook page, which all the news channel, I don't get it. I don't know if you've noticed this, but news Facebook pages or websites are the worst put together websites on the planet, and I don't get it. It's like they're stacked full of advertisements and stuff, and it's like, why would you do this to your brand? You know what I mean? You're destroying your brand. Now I will never, and every news outlet does it, even the Daily Wire, every one of them. Just you click on their website, and it's just garbage, and it's just ad pop-ups. Yeah. You'll scroll past and the video at the top will start playing the audio and you're already way the fuck down. You're like, what the fuck is this? But like, this is bad. Anyways, I clicked on one of those because it said it was KGW, which is a main news station here in Portland. And it said Oregonians are asked to turn their lights off at night for light pollution for the birds. And I was, what? So I clicked on this deal, and it's like some lady out of the University of Colorado, this fucking person, is like, oh, birds use, the majority of birds migrate at night. There's actually more birds in the sky at night than any other time, and the lights from the light pollution messes them up flying north and south, because they use the stars to navigate. And I'm like, what? I was like, we've gone down this path. I've gone down this path, and I've read multiple articles about how, do you remember this? Like a year ago, we went down this about birds in north and south, and it was like, no one knows. There's multiple theories. Like it's the one of the theories was there's a blue light in the southern hemisphere, and they think that birds' eyes pick up more blue light than other creatures, so that they literally see like a blue aura in the southern hemisphere, and so that they just know that way. But this lady's like, it was fact. She's like, fact. Birds use the stars to navigate. Like, how would you know that? Like, how do you know that?
Okay.
How would you know that?
But do they?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is this lady straight up saying it? She's like it was like her degree was like an bioaviation or something like that. It was called, like, you know, like birds essentially was her deal. But I mean, I remember reading these articles, and I remember reading multiple ones. I read 2 articles on out of like the University of London about them doing the test on humans. And both of those talked about animals. It was just like, no one knows how animals know their north and south. We can guess, but no, it's a huge debate. And I just read this article and saying, turn off the lights, and it's just saying that's the way it is. And it just irritated me. Like, what do you mean? Like, the audacity of like, you get to, like, I just don't know. I've said this before on the show, and I know you've looked at me with those eyes of like, you're saying some Trump bullshit right now. Is just because you went and got a fucking, like, a doctorate in something, it doesn't, like, yes, you studied a bunch, but it doesn't mean that you're God. Like, that you just get to say shit, and that's the way it is. It's like, no, isn't, like, everything a theory? Isn't everything a theory? Like, you just say something, and then everyone's supposed to try to prove you wrong for the end of time. And the more time someone tries to prove you wrong, the better that theory becomes. This bitch just comes out like, that's how they do it. It's like, how do you know that?
Do you want to? Are you mad because you want to leave your lights on at night?
No, I'm more mad that someone just comes out saying this just statement and is like, and it's almost, now there's people that are going to go around and like, did you know that birds use the stars to navigate? No, they don't. No, they don't. You're fucking full of shit. You think they do. And now you're publishing news articles.
Is it true that they migrate more at night than during the day?
Now that you've said the second statement, I think the first statement's bullshit too. I think you're full of shit. I've had a lot of birds in my life. I actually can speak on this. I've had a lot of birds in my life. Growing up, we had 7 birds. We had 3 macaws. We had an African gray. We had red-throated conure. I've seen a lot of bird shit. Birds sleep at night. I have a bunch of chickens in my backyard. Birds sleep at night. They don't like it at nighttime. They actually get scared shitless at night. If you'd walk through my house when I was a kid and walk through my living room, you would scare the fuck out of the birds when they were sleeping, and they were and they'd freak. They'd start banging the cages everywhere because they couldn't see you, and they'd freak the fuck out. So no, I think she's full of shit. I think the whole article's full of shit. I think she is straight out of her fucking mind. Like, just saying.
I hope she goes. I hope she does some segment on the street where she's like, "What do you think about the new light laws at night for the pollution?" And catches you walking out of some liquor store or something, and you just start talking about how many birds you've been around your whole life. I don't know.
I just it honestly was just a subject where I'm seeing two sides. I've read, like, so who's more credible? And to me, I'm like, I don't know. The whole University of London thing seemed like a legit thing I was reading. And at the end of that article, and that professor that's doing that test, his ending statement is saying, we don't know. That makes more fucking sense to me. At least he has the balls to be like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. We think it's this, but we can't really tell you. Then this bitch is, nope. They fly at night. They use the stars. Boom. Mic drop. It's like, how do you know birds use stars? How do you know that?
Maybe they use stars. Maybe it's the blue light.
Fucking use stars. Like, they're fucking, they're like 16th century sailors out there just fucking.
It's like the Underground Railroad.
It's bullshit, dude. It's such bullshit.
First
Birds
of all,
do not use stars.
They're flying around up there during the day. So it's not like 100% of birds only migrate at night. Some of them are migrating during the daytime too.
It said the majority of migration is done at night, is how the article read. Which I don't agree. I think that's bullshit too. I think that is fucking bullshit. I don't think that's true.
I'm scared of planes hitting them.
It's just so dumb to me. I don't agree with it. I think it's bullshit. But so really what that really ties into is the argument I know I've made in the show before is it's not like I don't trust doctors. It's just I think everyone is fucking delusional and can be driven by ego and is you can get bullshitted by anyone. Everyone thinks they're right and everyone has an ego. Everyone. Now just plug that into everything ever throughout human history. And I think, one, you're getting bullshitted, but it's not necessarily like a big
You're acting
conspiracy.
like everybody's wrong all the time.
Yes. I think a lot of people are wrong a lot of the time.
People are right a lot of times.
Yeah, they are. They are. But they're also wrong a lot. But I'm just saying, just because you like have a degree in something doesn't mean you just are the end all. Just because if there's levels to shit and you can get like, you can get too extreme. Yeah, I mean, I remember listening to a Rogan podcast like 5 years ago where they were talking about Göbekli Tepe, or I can't say that word. Mm-hmm. And they were getting fucking heated. And there's like all these guys that know a shitload about history. They're like, you know, super fucking smart dudes. And they're like, no, you're fucking wrong. You're full of shit. And like getting mad at each other and just like, you're fucking stupid. You know, mad. And it's like, see, just because he went to school for 10 years doesn't mean he's right. It doesn't mean he's right. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying admit the fact that it doesn't matter how much college you went through. Some things you can't, like, are obvious that you're right. Yeah, you're a fucking mathematician, and he's like, no, I'm telling you, this is this. You're like, okay, bam. But there's so many things people make. It's obvious that you're making, like, you're just connecting dots, and you're like, it's probably how it is. But then you're saying it with such conviction. You're like, oh, no, at 30 million light years away, this is this, and this is this. It's like, how do you know that? It's like, well, we think it's that way. It's like, no, that's better. How about we phrase it that way? You think it's that way. Because when we went to school, we had 9 fucking planets. Now we have 8 planets. So back in the 90s, they were saying, no, that shit's a fucking planet by some really smart fucking people. We're like, that shit's a planet. And then they're like, never mind, that was wrong. It's not a planet. It's like, oh, that's weird. Did that guy that thought it was a fucking planet, did he not go to school for a super long fucking time and say it with conviction? Like, that shit's a planet, dog.
I heard on TikTok the other day that Pluto's smaller than our moon. That ain't a planet.
I don't know.
If that's smaller than our moon, that ain't a planet.
But I've also seen a lot of people with high, even like in construction, I've seen people with really high degrees that, like inspectors or shit, guys, engineers, super high degrees, gone to college for a super long time, and are dumber than a box of fucking rocks. But on paper, and they can like come off as, no, I'm really smart. I know this, and this. Then you actually see them in work, and you're like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you have no common sense. You're a box of rocks that has a good name tag.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But I think you're more skeptical than you should be. But I understand completely what you're talking about. Like, your doctor is going to be standing there and be like, your numbers are off the charts. You're going to die, like, very soon. You're the most unhealthiest person I've ever seen. And you're going to be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
There's levels to that shit. But then, like, you call a doctor and you're like, hey, my kid's doing this. They're like, ear infection. You're like, what the hell the fuck you know that? And they're just like, it's an ear infection. Trust me, I'm a doctor. It's like, okay, bro, it couldn't be anything else here. It's like, no, it's ear infection. So many times you go to doctors and it's just like, bam, bam. No, that's what it is. It's just like, that seems like you're just like blanket guessing for people come in. You're like, oh, you got a cough. A lot of this is going on. Like, I went to a doctor one time and I'm like, man, I didn't feel good. Felt drained, blah, blah. And the doctor's like, oh, I think you have allergies. You've met me for 5 minutes and you haven't like ran any tests. You're just based off vague symptoms. You're just saying I have allergies now that I've never had in my life. Like, I think you're just guessing. You probably read a book about allergies last year and got real fucking uppity-dupty on allergies and learned a bunch of words there. And you're just like, allergies. You got allergies, dog. Here, take this. I'm going to prescribe this. Get the fuck out of my office. It's like they didn't like swab my nose. They didn't run blood work. They didn't do anything. Just take my temperature. What's your symptoms? Couldn't those symptoms be for like 100 other fucking things? Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's sprinkles of idiots all over the place. But you've also disagreed multiple times on this show with things that Neil deGrasse Tyson said, and I think that's just crazy.
See, he can be wrong.
Because you have zero knowledge of space and time and physics. He can be wrong, but he has way more knowledge than you do.
And he's saying it with, like, conviction. And
he could be wrong, but he has way more knowledge than you do.
Okay, but it doesn't just because he knows more. It doesn't.
You could be wrong. You could be wrong about something in the construction world. You could be wrong, but you have way more knowledge than me. So I would just say, yeah, you're probably right. You know?
But you saying to me you could be wrong isn't wrong of you to say.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But we're just going to refer to the guy who has more knowledge. And I'm not saying this, she did have a degree in bird whatever. I don't know about the whole bird thing. But yeah, people can be wrong. She could definitely be wrong. You just want them to say that they could be wrong.
Well, no, it just ties into everything. Like, everything is, like, absolute to people. It's just like, no, this is how it is. This is how it is. I'm like, you tie this into, I mean, honestly, I haven't really been saying this, but like this is like the vaccine thing and like COVID. It's like, no, they just say this is what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
you just can't even wrap your head around that it might be different than what you're saying. Like, no, well, Fauci's really fucking smart and he knows what he's fucking talking about. Fuck that. He could be wrong. Or they could be full of shit. There's so many possibilities. Just like, yep, that's how it is. And then you got like doctors. Yeah. We won't go into COVID because
it's good to question everything. And that Andrew Tate was very harsh on COVID.
I agreed with everything he said.
Yeah, he was extremely.
Dude, I
that's bullshit.
Today, I don't know what came over me, but a real asshole side came over me while I was walking through the store. And now when I see people with masks on, I get the urge to like get close to them and start coughing and just keep like kind of fucking with them. Like, I don't know. I'm done with it. And I think you look like a fucking idiot if you're wearing a mask. Like, take it off. Take it off. Just take it off. You just stop being a fucking idiot. Like, we just breathe it in, get sick, go home, be fine. Like, this is how the world works. Been saying this for 2 fucking years. Like, just fuck off. Like, let it run its course. We're all gonna be fine. And it proved itself. Everyone's fine. Oh, you know how many fucking people died of COVID? Yeah. Well, fucking, there's 280 million people or whatever in the United States. People die.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got the bird thing. Got me fucking riled up, dog. I was with Cheyenne the other night. I was fucking riled up, and she wasn't like responding to any of it, and I'm just fucking getting riled up by myself. Just that bitch, fucking.
Jesus. I get confused when I see birds, like, say it's November and it's frosty out, and I see them flying north. I'm like, where the fuck are you going? I don't understand.
Well, it's daytime and they can't see the stars, so they don't know where the fuck they're going. Duh!
That kind of makes sense. I don't know. So
I bet you that's how she got there. She's like, why are all these birds flying north in the daytime? She's like, boom, idiots! They're using the stars! You fucking retard, the blue lights? Shut the fuck up. What's this guy talking about? Stars. Done. Bam. Sign my name on that shit.
I mean, I don't even understand how, like, 16th century sailors could use stars to navigate. I don't understand any of it. I don't understand how people delivered pizzas before GPS. Like, or found their way across the country.
Oh, did you never do that? Dude, that shit was actually set up pretty slick. I delivered pizzas before GPS.
I've never delivered pizzas.
Dude, they had it fucking set up. So it was really cool. I can't really remember all the details, but at Pizza Hut, before cell phones, in the back wall, you would like the delivery people are just in and out of the back. And
they had a big map.
On the back wall, they had this big map, and they have everything zoned. Like your county, but someone
they still have that. I was in a pizza store here. They had a big map, and they had like a blue zone, red, green, yellow.
It was really. I remember it being really slick because I didn't have GPS, and it would. You knew where you were going. Like you fucking figured it out. But yes, I agree with you too. Is looking back at how we managed without GPS is fucking crazy. Well, you needed a co-pilot and you needed a map. That was like, number one. You didn't start a trip without a map. Like we need a map. We need to know where the fuck we're going.
I mean, I went on trips where my parents had maps, but I wasn't doing any navigating. But they had maps and they were doing navigating. I don't understand how you do it with the stars. I mean, I could do like the North Star, like the slaves did, or the Underground Railroad. I could do that. But I couldn't do like, we're going to go around the Horn of Africa or something and figure out how we're going to get from Spain all the way around or all that. I'd be like completely fucking lost. If you had a compass, maybe. Or just go south. Until I don't know. That's craziness.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I've always wanted to get into that. It'd be a really fun like hobby, but I don't have there's not enough payoff. It would be so boring to sit and learn about that shit. But yeah, I'm always very you're very impressed by. I mean, honestly, any feat that was done before 80 years ago is mind blowing today. Mind blowing. Construction, dude. They didn't have cranes. They didn't have excavators. They didn't have jack shit. No power tools. No nothing. And they're fucking building the London Bridge. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's insane. Or a dam, 100-year-old dam. How the fuck did they even do that? It's insane. Yeah. That's insane. The amount of planning that went into any construction feat. Skyscraper. New York City is just how? How do you do that? No cranes. Building skyscrapers. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. That's insane.
They must have had a lot of back
people
problems.
Were smarter. I swear to God. Like I think about that a lot. Like the hardcore conspiracy theory that like we've been dumbed down. Mm-hmm. Dude, it makes total sense. Like we are idiots. We're not smart. And
well, if you dropped us in an environment with no technology, you'd definitely see how dumbed down we are.
Yeah, our basic understanding of like mathematics is way low.
Right.
Way low. And then just how anything works, how stars work, how anything works.
We can Google it.
Is that the problem? But I mean, this started before the 90s. You know what I mean? This like dumb. People weren't smart in the 90s either. Like I remember the 90s, and it was the same fucking dumbasses walking around the planet as there was today. I mean, a little more today, but
yeah. You're so old. So speaking of technology, iOS, which is the operating system for iPhones.
Yeah, garbage.
Their new update includes unsending text messages. Hey, Apple and Samsung. Where was this in fucking 2014 when some of us really needed this capability? It's like, it doesn't seem that hard to have that option in a phone these days. It's like now we're finally getting it. I could have used this 10 years ago. Do you know how much, when Brad was really drinking, how much this would have saved me in so many situations?
Yeah, but it has to just be Apple to Apple. Because there's going to be people like, if you send me a phone, my phone's not going to be like, oh, okay, never mind. Like, it's got
to be Apple to Apple, but still, it should be easier to do that. You should be able to unsend.
Apple. I hate it so much. It's such a garbage company.
Well, I like this feature because some of us have wild things that go through their mind at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, especially people who drink, and it'd be nice to unsend things every once in a while.
Sometimes you got to live with your mistakes, dog.
No, I want to be able to erase my mistakes the following day.
No, that's a good, dude. The most you've ever grown is that next day. That's a good growth day. Those days of shame and embarrassment, those do the most for your character. Then if you could undo things like that, no, that's not doing anything for your character. You need that girl. You need to wake up and be like, dude, I sent that girl a dick pic. Oh my God. And just be like, oh, that was a horrible idea. And then you learn from that. That builds character. You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're fucking right. God damn it. It's not fun, though.
You do that 3 times. You have those experiences, you know, of like really beating yourself up. Then when something truly embarrassing happens, you're prepared. You're like, okay, no, I can deal with it. You know, you get de-pantsed in front of a bunch of people. You're like, I don't give a shit, man. I've been down this road before. I'm not new to this feeling. We're good to go. Like, pull your pants up, right back at it. Confidence way up here.
That's interesting. Just the feeling of shame.
Shame's good, man. I mean, it's good. It's good for you to feel shame. It's society telling you what's not acceptable and what is acceptable. And then at the same time, it's also gaining confidence and the ability to learn from bad things that happen, you know, bad things that are going to give you anxiety, and like that shit's going to happen in life. So it's better to have like little ones, like, sending a dick pic to some girl or something like that. Something that's really nothing bad's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, but what if you actually send it to your boss or something?
Good, man. Better. Even better, you just raise the stakes a little bit. Good. You're gonna
No,
learn.
that's not good. You have to,
no.
I need an unsend option.
The actual what's gonna happen in your life real soon, not so good. But
Right.
10 years from then, you're gonna have a great story. You're gonna have a great character building. It's gonna be a real lesson that you will learn from. Those lessons are the best lessons. Best lessons in life.
I'm conflicted. I agree with you.
Yep.
There's times though when I wish I could have unsent or deleted messages, and if I could go back, I would unsend them or delete them. So I'm hypocritical, but at the same time, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. So you're anti the new iOS update.
Well, I'm anti anything Apple does. They're a garbage company.
Well, it won't be long until it's all over the place. Everyone can unsend messages.
Dude, if I don't know, like if I pick up someone's phone, like they're like, "Oh, you can use my phone." No, you do this. I'm not touching that piece of shit. It's garbage. It's set up garbage. Their computers are set up garbage. I hate it. Like my girl's all iPhone and all iPod, all Mac and everything like that. I won't even do it. I'll give up instantly and be like, "You do it." That's dumb. It's dumb how they did that. It's dumb how that's set up. Like,
do you have a Mac? Have you used a Mac?
I've used a Mac. I hate them. I won't use it. I think it's stupid. Everything about Apple is set up to be easy to use. It's not set up to use correctly. Whereas Microsoft is the exact opposite.
Well, yeah, it's like good for your parent. It's like good for your parents to use
a Mac. Yes.
Yeah.
It's good for stupid people to use.
No.
No. That's how it's good for people who want to hit a glass ceiling right off the bat. Why do their phones, only iPhones, send other phones horrible videos? Why is that? It's because they just are like, no, fuck you guys. We will not work with any other phone. Our computers are gonna be real douchebags to everyone else. I
have a Galaxy phone, and if I get another phone, I'll still just get the newest Galaxy. I really like just the Galaxy line. And I have a Windows PC, and then I have a Mac Mini. And I love my Mac Mini the most. I won't go back to iPhone, but this PC that I have will be the last PC that I own. When this is dead, I will get another Mac. Because I like the Macs. When it comes to phones, I don't like the iPhone.
No, you will run into things in your life where you're going to get into something like a mixer or something. You're going to be trying to do things with products, and the Mac is just like, no, retard. No, you got to have, or there'll be like, after 5 generations, they'll just be like, oh, we don't even support that product anymore. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, make it work with my mixer. You fucking pieces of shit. You arrogant assholes that I have to go now buy the newest thing you have so that it'll be compatible with this. No, that's a garbage company. And they're intentionally doing garbage. They were caught, proven that their phones will fucking self-degrade themselves. Like, why would you support this company? It's so stupid. And I'm all about supporting an American company, but they're not an American company. They're the fucking... they're bullshit. That's a bullshit company.
A lot of companies you support aren't American companies.
Yeah, I know, but if it's not going to be an American, at least I'm going to get a better product. So there we go.
The Mac Mini is I think it's a different beast from all the other Apple bullshit. But I bought a Mac Mini in 2014. Just last year, it was finally dead. So I still have it, but I tossed it to the side, bought a new Mac Mini, transferred everything from the old Mac Mini to the new one, and on the new one, it was like, this one specific program that you have, we don't support anymore. And I was like, fuck! So it is exactly what you said. I was like, somewhere between 2014 and 2021, they just said, we're not supporting this program anymore. And I was like, fuck, I gotta find a new thing now.
They intentionally set that shit up so that you have to just keep buying things. You have to constantly keep buying things. And somehow the one good thing Apple's done, I mean, good for them for being smart enough, a good enough company they somehow duped everyone. They've just duped everyone into, you have to have this to be cool, and this is cool. Yeah. We are cool.
Brilliant marketers, yeah. Absolute brilliant fucking marketing.
No other company could make a shit product that doesn't work with anything else and outsell everyone else. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's wild.
And I do think, I don't know everything about what's going
on
over
iPod.
there.
I mean, come on, the iPod.
But
iPod
isn't supporting Samsung actually a pretty good thing, because that's South Korea, right? And they're kind of shit on by like everyone around them as a country. And aren't they a pretty good ally to America? I have no idea. Totally. I don't know if any of that's factually correct, but I'm if we had to bet, I would say I think I'm right there. Is that Samsung is a South Korean company, and they are like not good with everyone. They're not good with China. They're not good, obviously not good with North Korea. And so they're like our one good ally there, and they're a pretty decent country. Like they're not this hardcore communist country. So
I think they're an ally, but they do a lot of bad shit as well.
Well, yeah, everyone does bad shit.
Yeah,
but it's not like I don't think it's like Samsung coming from China or North Korea or something like that. It's
right.
It's someone who doesn't want to, that likes to have a good relationship with America and would love for that to just continue for a very long time.
First of all, you're not going to get me to talk bad about the iPod, because that's the last time I felt good, is the iPod ages. MySpace, iPods.
They killed it. The iPod was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and the iPhone was amazing, and it's record breaking. But if you're just going to not make your product better intentionally, that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. So why would you support a company that does that? Like, it doesn't matter. I love Fender guitars, but if Fender guitar did that, I would be done instantaneously. I don't give a shit how cool it is. If you're going to intentionally give me a shitty product, go fuck yourself. I'm going Gibson. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Saw a headline yesterday, one of my favorite headlines I've seen in a long time. It's not necessarily a headline, but more of a tweet from CNN. And it's referencing a headline. Jesus Christ. But it says a woman was awarded $5.2 million in a settlement from insurance company Geico after contracting a sexually transmitted disease from her partner in his vehicle, which was insured by the company. So, and I looked up the article, the case or whatever. This woman was in Missouri. Her name wasn't released, but her boyfriend, they had sex in his car in 2017, and he had HPV. And he knowingly had HPV and didn't disclose that to her, and she contracted HPV from him in the car when they had sex. And his car is insured through Geico, so she sued Geico, and they paid her $5.2 million. Because she was hurt. Anyone who gets hurt in your car for any reason, whether it's moving or not, can sue your insurance. That's what liability insurance is. The man knew he was positive. She did not know. So that's pretty amazing. They banged in the car. In my lifetime, I've had sex in a car 2 times. And they suck. It's not good. It's not a good experience. But if I knowingly contracted an STD in either of those 2 times, I could have, or unknowingly, I could have sued. Hopefully, the cars would have been insured. Neither vehicle I owned. I've never had sex in a car that I owned.
Well, you know that they're gonna change that shit real quick.
Why? Like, someone gets hurt in your car.
They're gonna add some fine print to their insurance policies. You know, their new terms and services, or
unless it's in a sexual act, then you can't sue. Yeah. It's like if you're in my car and a tree falls on you, you could sue my insurance company.
Yeah, but what if you fucking stabbed me in your car? Then
hopefully I have liability insurance.
Then I can come after your insurance company?
I guess. Oh, you know what I think? I think that girl had a fucking excellent lawyer. I put that all on the. I give all the credit to the lawyer for that. Like when you hear someone's like, "Yeah, this happened." Like when you hear someone's like, "Oh yeah, someone broke into my house and I stabbed them, and now he's suing me or whatever, and now I have to pay him." It's like you had a shitty lawyer. So I give this girl credit. She had an excellent fucking attorney that just pushed Geico to the limit and just said, and they just finally said 5.2 million. That's excellent legal work.
It is. It's a real problem in this country. That's why everything is so like long and drawn out and like trying to get it's just because everyone's got to cover their ass because of dumb fucking shit. And the fact like when things like that happen, the fact that we can't like I don't know, that you can just be in a courtroom and be like, come on. And the judge like, yeah, this is fucking stupid. I don't give a shit what that says. This is retarded.
And
like,
people on Twitter were like, the problem with this is like people's insurance rates are high because insurance companies have to pay out for this. So like everyone who's paying Geico insurance has to pay out for a bunch of stupid stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the problem. Is like, exactly. It's so irritating.
That's so amazing. I love it.
I hate it.
They had sex in a car, and an STD was transmitted.
Did you watch the Norm special? The new Norm special?
No.
You didn't? Why not?
I didn't even know there was a new special. I haven't watched a special in years.
You haven't watched a comedy special in years?
Yeah.
What?
Like whatever the last Dave Chappelle was the last one.
That was the last one.
You've
seen all the Bill Burrs, you've seen Paper Tiger and all those?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Norm, that's okay. So
Norm McDonald.
Norm died and no one fucking knew. He knew he had cancer for a long period of time and no one knew. David Letterman was like one of his best fucking friends. Didn't tell anybody. Not a single person knew.
Jeez.
Which is crazy. He kept that shit secret and he knew he was going to die. He's been up in Canada, blah, blah, blah. So he had, the night before he went in for one of his surgeries, he recorded a comedy special that he'd been working on. And it's just him literally like us right now. He's just sitting in front of a computer and he just does an hour-long special. And it's really fucking good. It's funny as fuck. It's good. It's up there. It's a good special. You need to watch it. Then at the end of the special, it cuts to David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, Dave Chappelle, Adam Sandler, and the guy, Chris Farley's partner, David Spade. David Spade, and then a cast member from an SNL when Norm was in SNL. Like, I don't know her name. She's a old famous SNL girl. And it's just them, and like right when the movie ends, the camera like pans out, and it's like a TV screen, and then it just pans out, and it's the whole room, and it's them sitting there watching. They just watched it.
Wow.
And then it records them for about a half an hour just talking about Norm. And dude, it's fucking beautiful. The whole thing is beautiful.
Jesus.
Highly, highly recommend. Such a good special. It's on Netflix. And then such a cool thing to just see them talk about it. And Norm's Norm, I mean, I don't know. My shit, it runs rampant on YouTube right now with everything Norm. So I've been really digging into Norm lately, and I've learned a lot of things about Norm that I didn't know. And just highly respect, like, he's just, there's a reason all these comedians right now are giving like massive amounts of respect to Norm, is because he's never really broke the fucking super famous mold, but he almost did, back in the 90s. He had his TV show, but he just kind of fizzled there. And I think a lot of people just don't, his comedy is so, I don't know, he's better at like reactionary comedy. Like just talking, and just his quips are fucking out of this world. But then like, have you seen the clip of him ending the last episode of the Letterman, Late Night with Letterman?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it's fucking like tear wrench is like he gets up, he's gonna be the last comedy stand up of that show. Is the last episode, and he's the comedian, and he was really good friends with David Letterman. Like that, and he appeared on David Letterman like 10 times, and all the David Letterman are fucking really funny. But on his last one, he like really doesn't tell a joke. He just get up there and he essentially starts crying, and then him and David Letterman meet, and he shakes his hand, and David Letterman says something to him, and no one knows what was said, but it's kind of this like iconic moment of history, and a lot of people want to know what was said there. And like it was on who's the radio guy the most famous radio?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. He was on the Howard Stern show, and Howard Stern asked him, and he's just like, and like he started tearing up again, and he's just like, that's for me, and like I don't know, it's just I don't know. Norm's whole legacy is really cool, and I'd highly suggest watching that and the stories that come afterwards. Like I'll just give you a quick one that Adam Sandler tells, which I thought was really funny. Is they said they're on tour and they're at a hotel, and Adam goes up to his room and they're hanging out, and he's like, "Hey, you got a Coke?" And he's like, "Yeah, in the fridge." And then he goes over to the fridge, opens it up, and there's $25,000 in chips in the fridge. And he's like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I hit it big." And he's like, "Why didn't you turn your money in?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to see fucking some lawyer, this like Jewish name." He's like, "I'm gonna see how I can not pay taxes on all this money." And then he's like, "Yeah." Then a few days later, I go back up, and I'm like, "Hey, is the 20?" Or he opens it up. He's like, "Oh, you cash out the 25?" Or he's like, "You figure out how to not pay the tax?" He's like, "Nah, you can't fucking get out of paying taxes on it." He's like, "Oh, where'd the money go?" He's like, "Oh, I've lost all of it." And fucking. And did you know that he was like a horridly addicted gambler?
Oh, really?
Spent shitloads. I'm pretty sure like his initial money that he made, all of it gone. Like when he came out of SNL, like he gambled all of it away.
Oh. I think it was last year I rewatched Billy Madison, and he was one of the best friends in Billy Madison. He's just hilarious.
I love Norm. It's so funny. But yeah, I would highly suggest that comedy special. It's very good. It's very
Where'd
good.
you watch it on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. That's easy.
Highly suggest. Highly suggest.
Probably better than Top Gun 2, you think?
I would bet. Yeah.
Okay. I'm into that.
But I love comedy. Nothing is better than comedy specials to me. That's the best. It's the best thing to watch ever. I love comedy specials.
Wow. Okay.
Boom. The only other thing I got is I watched the new Harry Potter last night, or Fantastic Beasts, the history of Dumbledore or something like that.
Why would you watch that?
Dude, come on. They have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Then they have Fantastic Beasts and something of Grindelwald or something like that. And then this last one is the third one they've come out with, and it's The Secrets of Dumbledore is what it's called. And it's like kind of like more of a grown-up Harry Potter, like a little bit more. Like there's no kids in it at all. And I watched it with my daughter last night, and we had a little movie night. Cheyenne went out to the bars, and me and her just fucking set up. I blew up the air mattress in the living room. We had popcorn, fucking candy, and just had a good old fucking father-daughter fucking movie night. She stayed up till like 10 o'clock. She was fucking loving life. That was fun, but they like subtly, not even subtly, is Dumbledore's gay, and they just like go off on this him being gay, and the whole fucking like he says like 4 or 5 times in the movie, because like this Grindelwald guy's like the bad guy, Dumbledore's the good guy, and like that's the whole movie. And he's like, oh, when we were young, he's like, I loved him, and we made this bond together, and we were going to take over the world. But they never like show any kissing or anything, but he's like, it is like clear as day they're talking about like they were together when they were kids.
I think I remember hearing that.
It's like, why the fuck is I was waiting for my daughter to just be like, what? You know, just like, what is that? I was like, why are they putting this in here? Like, why? What is it with I really don't get this whole gay pride thing. Like, it's like, I don't get why you need to fucking subject kids to this shit. Like, No one, like, can we all not agree that men and women is the most natural fucking thing? Yes, we can. And if you can't, you're a fucking douchebag. Like, that is what's natural. That's what's meant to happen. You have a boy and female dog. We look at that. Is that natural? Yes, it's natural. Humans, men, women, that's fucking natural. I'm not saying I hate gay people. You want to be gay? Fucking have at it. No one gives a shit. I have zero hate. But I don't like when it's blatantly being, like, divisively pushed onto children. That's so fucked up. You are incredibly fucked up for doing that. Like, not you, but Disney or anybody. And it's like, well, we got to be inclusive. It's like, no, you don't. Like, no, you don't. No one gives a shit. And it's like, gay pride, it's hard to come out of the closet. It ain't, dude, it's not hard anymore to be gay. It's not. Shut the fuck up.
Not.
It's not hard to be a woman. It's not hard to be gay. It's not hard to be black. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Don't peddle this bullshit to my kids. Like, don't. Stop. Just stop. I don't need transgender shit in there. I don't need gay shit. I don't care. I don't care what you do, but you don't need to be deliberately. And then on the Disney Channel, I was getting furious about this last night. It's because it's Pride Month or whatever, which I didn't even realize. I thought they made June like a black thing last year. I didn't Juneteenth or something like that. Wasn't that all about black people? And
yeah.
And so now it's Gay Pride Month, which, okay. But dude, Disney Channel, you know how you like have like collections, musicals, blah, blah. Disney Plus, Pride.
Oh,
and it's all kids shows. It's all kids shows about gay people. I'm just like, she's so innocent. She doesn't like it. Like, why do you need to introduce this into her brain? She doesn't need to learn this now. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't the place. This isn't the place to do this. It's just not. I hate it. I hate it more than anything.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's not a tough one. You don't need to be peddling that to a kid. She doesn't need, and it's like, in like an argument would be like, oh, you just aren't brave enough to have that conversation with your daughter. It's like, no, she's an innocent specimen, and let her just be a little girl, and let little boys be little boys, and let that shit come later. That doesn't need to happen at 6 years old. That doesn't need to happen at 10 years old. Like,
well, okay, but part of parenting is explaining weird shit to your kid.
But it's
that exists in the world.
Yes, and that's fine. But if you're walking in the street and she sees two boys holding hands, that's a different story. Not when there's like a literal agenda at a corporation to this is what we need to be doing. This is what we need to. They need to see this. No, they don't. No, they don't. Like, let the parent. No, it's literally a group of people saying, people who don't even have kids. A whole group of people who don't even have kids are telling a whole group of people who have kids how they should raise their children. Those same people that are like, fuck kids. The same group of people that like, I don't even want kids. Fuck them. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
what I say.
We know more than you do about what kids. It's like, no, you are intentionally brainwashing children to suit your agenda. That's bullshit. Yeah. That's fucking bullshit.
I agree. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that one. I mean, when people used to say way back in the day, like 10 years ago, when people kept talking about gay marriage, and people were like, I shouldn't have to explain to my kid, you know, that two guys are kissing or two girls are kissing or whatever. It's like, fuck you and your kid. People shouldn't have to change their lives or whatever because you're not comfortable being a parent.
See, I don't care about that.
I'm with you on the corporation agenda stuff. You know what I mean?
It's, dude. Did I tell you last episode about going to my daughter's school and seeing the fucking teachers lounge thing? I meant to bring that, dude.
No.
So we went like 2 weeks ago. They did like an art auction thing. So like, all the kids make like some art projects. All the elementary school, every single kid makes like some art shit. And then
they
spend
money.
Yeah, it was a scam. It was a scam to get the parents there and fucking spend money. And so you go in all the halls, all the way down, starting at 6th grade, then all the way down to kindergarten, is just art projects. And each kid has 3 art projects for sale. Essentially, all of it ends up being $10. They got $10 off of every parent there, which there's a fucking shitload of parents. They made a lot of money. And it was all arts for smarts is what they called it. But whatever, I was fine. And then in the cafe or the PE room or the auditorium.
Teacher's lounge. Teacher's
No,
lounge?
well, no. I'm
Okay.
getting there. I'm getting there. In the gymnasium. This was I was actually pretty stoked about this. This was like a bunch. It was a silent auction, and so they just had like a prize, and they were all pretty good fucking prizes. And we won one of the prize. Well, I won one of the auctions for one of the prizes, but it was like they had a signed basketball from like the Blazers. They had they had some cool shit. They had like but the one I went for was it was a month of dance lessons or something like that. And I was talking to fucking Cheyenne, and she's like, and I was like, holy shit, because each one of the deals has like their estimated value, like what it should be, and then what the starting bid is, or what you have to start bid. And the fucking month of dance classes or 4 dance classes, or I can't remember what it was estimated at $1,250 was for this shit. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm like,
holy shit.
I was like, Aurora would fucking love this. She'd fucking love dance classes. So
I'm confused. There's dance classes for you and
no,
your chick,
for Aurora. For Aurora.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so I threw $300 down, got that. I was super stoked. Like, and I kind of like fucked. I might have made people mad because I just came out with such a high number. But I was like, it's estimated at 1,200. I was like, if you start at 20, that's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like you shouldn't give away a $1,200 thing for $100. Like, that's kind of bullshit on the company. You know what I mean? Like, so no one bid on that. We won that. We also went and I think a camping trip to somewhere, like a 4-day. I don't know. We lost that one. Anyways, that was cool. But then we walk around, we go buy the art projects, talk to her teacher for a minute. And it's just this line. They just have a line all the way through the school of just parents like marching, just you're on your line. And I hit the teacher's lounge, and I'm like, I'm going to do some recon here a little bit. And there's like a window. And so I like break the line and like just stop at the teacher's lounge. And there's a teacher standing right next to me, like watching me. And I just don't care because something instantaneously caught my eye. And I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And fucking as soon as you see this room, and it's kind of like a 4-foot hallway, and then I can see one wall, and then the room kind of opens up that I can't see. But on this big wall that I can see is a fucking 15 by 10 like bulletin board. And the letterhead, huge bulletin board. The whole letterhead says how to fight or anti-racism and hate is what it says across the top thing. And then it has month to month what our school is doing to fight racism. And like racism was just everywhere. And again, same thing as the Disney thing. It's just like, dude, none of these kids understand this at all. And the fact that you're peddling this is so fucked up. You're all fucked up. It made me so fucking mad. It's just like, you are such pieces of shit. It's like, this school is half black and half Indian. Shut the fuck up with racism. Like, you're such manipulative white women cunts. Like, fucking the worst liberal people on the planet. Like, you're the worst. And then like now I'm so mad at these people. And then I'm walking through the hall, and it's all women. Everyone's a woman. Every teacher's a woman, a white woman, and about half of them are, I would say, 19 to fucking 24. You know what I mean?
Hot.
Like children.
So hot.
There's children here. And then and then about 4 of the teachers are like purple hair with like earrings and shit like that. I'm like, this is just out of control. Our school, like what they're saying on the news is real. Like what like Ben Shapiro is spiting about. The shit is real. The shit is fucking real. It's in our schools. Like, this is ridiculous. And how much longer is it going to be till she comes home and legitimately, I guarantee it's a year or two before she comes home and starts spouting like, what's transgenderism? Am I a boy or am I, if I hear, dude, it's ridiculous. Dude, I don't know. That just the anti-racism thing got me so fucking fired up. It's like, stop making racism where there is no fucking racism. We're in Portland, Oregon. I've not once since I've been here in 8 years seen anything racist happen. Not one fucking time have I seen anything remotely racist take place. But now, the more and more you push this, The more people, now they grow up and you tell a kid enough times, like, racism is real. That's what they believe. I was in an argument the other day with my daughter, and she's like, well, that's not what my teacher said. It's like they believe their teacher. You know what I mean? They're programmed to, like, believe their teacher more than they believe me. You know what I mean? So it's like what that teacher is pushing matters to that child, and they believe it. It's their teacher. They think their teacher knows all. So if their teacher is pushing this, like, bullshit, I think kids aren't the place to push your agendas, and that's what you're doing. You're pushing an agenda, and that's so fucked up. Let them be a child. Let's not talk about gay shit. Let's not talk about racist shit. Let's not talk about, things that don't need to be talked about. Yes, they're real, but it doesn't need to happen at 6. It doesn't need to happen at 7. It doesn't need to happen in middle school or in elementary school. That is not the place. They need to be learning about math, letters, that's what they need to be learning, not your agenda, not social shit at all. That has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, kids are really dumb.
They're not. They're really not.
They are. They're dumb.
They're way more smart than you think they are.
They're way more smart than I think. They say things like, "Why isn't a dog president?"
They have a hard time. They have a hard time because they haven't learned enough speech and social cues and shit like that. But dude, when you have kids, it is crazy when you're around kids how things will happen and you'll just be like, holy fuck. Like, I did not think that their brain would wrap their head around that, and you just, like, they impress you. They really do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying they are dumb, and that's why they'll believe what an adult tells them. You know what I mean?
Well, it's an adult. I mean...
Right.
Did you not feel that way? And do you still not feel that way? There's always something intrinsic about someone that's further ahead in life than you, that's bigger than you. Just listen to what they say. Just listen.
For sure. Yeah, I don't think that at that age should be talking about anything kind of crazy like that. It should just be like artwork and math. And school sucks no matter what. I'm glad they weren't just talking about racism with me when I was 6 years old. That would have been boring as hell. I'm glad we were at least playing Oregon Trail or something.
I don't know, but what do you even do? You know what I mean? You literally can't do anything. You're
because I do think kids should go to school. You know?
Oh yeah, and that's out of the question. We're not homeschooling. Fuck that noise. That ain't happening. Well, and not only for the inconvenience of homeschooling. Yeah,
they should go to
I
school.
do not want a socially awkward kid. That would be the most devastating thing on the planet. It would drive me. It would literally drive me insane if, like, you take a kid somewhere and you're like, yeah, that's my son. He's just fucking weird. You know what I mean? It's just like.
I mean, it makes me wonder what the world's gonna. For one thing, I think that what you're experiencing there is based a lot off
hyper.
I don't think that's how it is in a place like
everywhere
here.
Else. Yeah, it's just California, Washington, Oregon, New York, and then you would have the polar opposite being Florida, Texas.
Yeah,
like hotbeds of radical thinking.
But I do. It makes me curious to see, what will those kids look like in 20 years, 30 years.
Well, no. Okay, another thing, dude. It's if you go by a high school, like all the high schools you drive by is fucking weird, bro. Like, so let me back up. If I go to a grocery store here, you go into a grocery store, you just see the range of men, women from 80 to fucking 20. You know what I mean? Just walking through the grocery store. You see the spectrum of people. And in Oregon right now, I'd say about 5% to 10% of people are masked up. And it's funny, the second you see the mask, they're all the same group. They all dress similar. They all blue hairs. They're just that group of people. You can see it. And it makes sense that they're wearing a mask. It's like, oh yes, you are hyper liberal person. And if you go to a high school right now and fucking drive by and it's like high school's out and like it's been out for like 15, 20 minutes. So you get like, you'll be going down the road and you'll see like 5 kids, 1 kid like 50 feet behind him, and then 2 kids like 50
Yeah.
feet behind him. Then the school out thing, and
Yeah,
they're just spreading throughout the community and fucking
infecting.
Every one of them has a mask on by themselves, walking down the street, mask on. It's fucking weird, and it's just like, oh, you're all hyper fucking CNN in your high school. Like, that's what's happening. Is every teacher is hyper liberal. You are being taught this hyper liberal deal, and they've literally just created, which is why like it's a problem. It's like they've literally just created what they want to create. Hyper liberal people that social justice is number one. Whatever CNN is on and on about, that's what these kids are on and on about. And I just think and it's ridiculous. It's like, I'll see a kid. It's like, dude, you're outside by yourself.
Yeah.
50 feet each way from no one, and you still have your mask on. Like,
I see people do that here. Yeah.
I guarantee it's not the same. Like, not even close to the same.
No, but just the other day I saw someone walking by themselves with a mask on.
I can't believe that's happening in North Dakota. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird.
I mean, that's what I love listening to Andrew Tate. It's just fuck those fucking those goddamn cogs of people that are just walking down the street.
Well, I like when he was talking about, like, don't bring a mask with you. When they ask you to wear one, say you don't have one. Make them give you one. When they give you one, don't put it on. Then they'll ask you again. Then put it on, but don't put it all around your mouth. And then make them. And I'm not for all that stuff.
Oh, I love it.
No,
fuck them. Fuck them. It's stupid. It's been stupid from day one, and I do.
I know, but you're just fucking
conditioning.
some kid who is getting paid minimum wage or something like that. You know what I mean? Not the actual.
No, but it's society. It's like, no, you need to realize that you're a bitch and fuck you. Like, you fell for some dumb shit that makes no sense, and it hasn't made sense from day one, and yet everyone accepted it. I don't give a shit that you all accepted it. It's fucking stupid, and so fuck you.
Yeah, but then when he was like, when he was walking in somewhere where he knows they're gonna stop him for about a mask, he's like, just fucking put your head up, put your shoulders back, walk straight, and walk like quick with a purpose. And he's like, they won't even fuck with you. And I was like, yeah, I like that, because if you just walk around places like you have a purpose and confidently, you're gonna run into like less sort of issues like that or something. I don't know. I like that part of it. Also, you're saying all the teachers were like female and stuff. Yeah, I think they kind of should be. I don't know. I think if you're a guy and you want to spend your whole day around little kids like that, I don't see why the fuck you would want to do that. You're going to get like brain dead. Guys shouldn't want to hang around with 7-year-olds all day long. That's just insane. Guys shouldn't be like teachers like that. You're crazy. I would rather die. That would be a nightmare, dude. I'd rather be a janitor than a teacher of little kids. But I like that you said they were all 19 to 24. Where's all these 19 to 24-year-old teachers when I was a little kid? All my teachers were like old.
There were still a bunch of fatties and 40-year-olds there, like
old gray-haired ladies when I was a little kid. But you'd still stare at them like, I wonder what their boobs look like, even though they're like 70 years old. Where's all these fucking 19-year-olds?
I bet you, if you really went back in time to when you were in kindergarten, first grade, you'd go back and be like, man, there's way more attractive females here, and you're just a little kid. My daughter thinks I'm ancient, dude. That looks at me and she's like, you're an old man. Like,
that's how I look at you. You are old.
You're right there, buddy. You're fucking right there. I don't think I'm old.
Oh. No, I'm young. I'm fucking 19 years old, and I am ready to take on the world. I hope you're right about that, because I remember all my teachers just being old, crabby ladies.
Oh, man. I got worked up today. This is a worked up episode. We started with birds and then went to fucking school teachers. Oh. Well, I'm good, dog. You good? Got more?
Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Rock and roll. Well, episode 88 in the books. I'm Eric. This is Brad. We thank you guys for stopping by, spending some time with us. Till next time.
Head again,
Bye.
making my way through crowded thoughts. Sometimes it's hard to get out of it. Broke my heart in the dark. I was just trying to feel something, falling asleep to the sound of it. Always used to let you clean up the messes. Down on my knees, thought I couldn't stand up on my own. Turns out sometimes you're stronger alone. Bringing out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero, look inside the mirror. I found one, oh. Carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off. When I fall down 11, I get up 12. Don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself. Got burned, but I learned. Our scars make us who we are. Now I'm 10 feet tall over my demons. Remind me no one's got me like myself. Yeah, I love me without any help. I'm the best thing to believe in. So I'm bringing out the fight, yeah, bring on all the lightning. 'Cause I'm looking for a hero, look inside the mirror. I found one, oh. Carry the hurt when it gets too hard. Pick it up, dust it off. When I fall down 11, I get up 12. Don't need nobody else. Yeah, I can save myself. Oh, 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 oh. I could crumble into pieces, but I got a million reasons why I won't. 'Cause this heavy is a season, and the sun is always right behind the storm.